Our early experts are always here to answer your questions. You can send them in anytime on Facebook, email, and Twitter. Today, they are answering some of those for us. With us, early show consumer correspondent Susan Koeppen, CBS News business and economics correspondent Rebecca Jarvis, and medical correspondent Dr. Jennifer Ashton. Ladies, good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
I know you're armed with answers for our viewers, so we're going to launch right into it. Copes, first one is for you. This question comes to us from Lori. She sent us an email here at the early show asking, when is the best time to buy a vehicle?
And the short answer is right now.
Hey.
Right now is a good time to buy, not only because the dealers are trying to get rid of their 2010 models, you can get deals on those, but also loan rates for auto loans are at some of the lowest rates we have seen in 2 decades. So if you need to borrow money, now is the time to buy a car. Also, lots and lots of incentives. When you go in to buy that car, ask about all the incentives. Then when you start shopping for the car, go to a site like TrueCar.com where you can actually see, you pick out the car you want. You can see how much people are paying for that car in your area. So you know what's a good deal and what's a bad deal and what's like right in the middle. And then also go to someplace like Bankrate.com to find out the rates on those auto loans.
Good stuff. TrueCar. Not that I need a car right now, but I'm going to go check it out just because it sounds fun. Rebecca, this one's from you. Tina wrote into us on Facebook asking which jobs are most in demand right now. She's considering a 1-year training course as either a medical assistant or a medical administrative assistant. Would it be worth it? Seems like a resounding yes.
Absolutely. And Erica, we've talked about this a lot. Healthcare jobs are some of the most in-demand jobs. They weathered the storm through the recession. We have this growing elderly population here in the United States. So it really works to people's benefit to study healthcare and to look for jobs like this. One piece of advice, though, not all of these programs are created equal. So if you're considering a training program, ask others who have graduated what it was like for them to go into the workforce and to determine whether or not it was an easy transition. Did the program give them the skills necessary for these jobs? One other area I just want to call out, because it was in the State of the Union address last night, teacher positions in science, engineering. President Obama, it was the one area where he specifically stated a number. They're looking for 100,000 new teachers in the next 10 years.
All right, keep that one in mind. And science and math, as you mentioned, really key here. Our next question, Jen, is for you via Twitter from Abby, who says she loves to run. She despises the treadmill. I feel you on that one. But it's so cold outside that it hurts to breathe when she's outside. What does that mean?
Very, very common. And a lot of people who do exercise outside, not just running, really feel pain in their lungs, in their chest as they're breathing in. The cold air isn't actually doing damage to your lungs. It's not freezing it, but it can be a little bit uncomfortable. So some basic things you can do just so that you can continue to be outside and be active and get your exercise. Number one, make sure you allot adequate time to warm up and cool down, even if you have to do that inside. Very, very important and easy to do. The other thing is when you are exercising outside, even if you're shoveling snow, you actually want to pay a little bit more attention to your breathing. Breathe in through your nose and maybe out through your mouth, because breathing in through your nose actually gives your body a little more time to warm and moisturize that cold, dry air. And lastly, if you are going to go for a long walk, a long run outside, put a scarf, you've talked about that, even a face mask over your nose and mouth to just act as a barrier between that very, very cold air. Some people with exercise-induced asthma or cold weather asthma can really get into trouble. So if you think you're in that subgroup or that population, maybe you want to see your doctor and maybe hit the treadmill and not go outside.
There you go. Susan, we're coming back to you for this one. We got this question from Twitter as well, from Meredith, who needs a new water heater. What does she look for? What do you look for in a water heater these days, Susan?
Fancy water heater. Well, the good news is there's lots and lots of options. You can get ones that have the tank, ones that's tankless, on demand, that sort of thing. So you can go check out the Department of Energy website, energysavers.gov, to look at all the different options and figure out what would be best in your house. And the great thing is, if you're going for an energy efficient model, a lot of states offer you a rebate. So say in Texas, for example, you can get a rebate on a water heater, and then if you recycle your old one, you can get even more money back. So that's the good news. Also, check out the warranty. Make sure you're getting a good warranty.
So first you figure out all those things, and that may help narrow down the choice a little bit. I like it. Rebecca Jarvis, back to you. This is an email here coming to us at the early show from Frank, who's also looking for a job, as we heard a little bit from Tina earlier. He wants to know, though, with more companies doing credit checks, could a bad credit score keep you from being hired, from getting that job.
And the truth is that it can, but it's unlikely unless you have something like a major foreclosure that you're very, very behind on your debt payments. So it can be an issue. About 60% of companies are running credit checks on people these days. One thing you need to do before you go in is know your rights, because every employer has to ask your permission before they can run the credit report. So make sure that you've given your permission if you want that credit report tested. Another thing to do is to check your annual credit report, check it for free, because if there are mistakes, you don't want those mistakes to count against you as a potential employee. And what it really comes down to here is responsibility. Some companies say a bad credit score, a bad credit report makes you look like a less responsible employee.
So get that checked out.
Yeah.
And when we all have access to that free report, so another good reason to do it. Finally, Jen, for you from Facebook, this one is from Jill. A lot of us can relate to this. She gets severe eczema in the wintertime. What are the best products to help handle that?
Very common complaint. When you think about eczema, you really want to think of it as a combination between a skin allergy and an inflammation or inflammatory cycle, and you get into this scratch-itch cycle. Your skin gets dry, you scratch it, then it itches more, and so on and so forth. It's a very, very annoying and bothersome problem. So some basic things that you can do if you're finding that your skin is more sensitive in the winter in particular, avoid wool or any fabrics that you think might irritate your skin more. Obviously, anything that's in direct contact with your skin can be a trigger. When you're showering, you want to use a mild soap. I always recommend a Johnson's baby shampoo or a baby shampoo or a soap for sensitive skin. Can really, really help moisturize like crazy. And you want to avoid dramatic swings in temperature. So even though it might feel good to get into the hot shower, that hot water is not doing the eczema any favors. If you're not finding those things are working, then over-the-counter treatments or creams, a steroid cream from your dermatologist, even vitamin D can help you from the inside treat external skin problems.
And put that on within 3 minutes of getting out of the shower, right? Seal in the moisture. Dr. Jennifer Ashton, Rebecca Jarvis, Susan Koeppen, the early experts. Thank you all.